Well, that's how you kick off a show, man. He's not leaving. We're not leaving. You got the news, I'm sure, already this morning that Donovan Mitchell back with the Cavs. Donovan's not leaving. Sorry. Trying to send a tweet. Neither are we. Let's go, Cavs! They get it done. Donovan Mitchell back with the wine and gold. 3-year deal, max extension. He's back with the wine and gold to pursue a championship. And I think that's a big part of the reason why he's back with the Cavs. New head coach Kenny Atkinson. It's not the 4-year deal, but as Adrian Wojnarowski put, he's shooting for that 10 years of service time so he can cash in on another big deal at the end of this with the player option. But the breaking news this morning, Donovan Mitchell has officially re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Comes off the heels of Kenny Atkinson yesterday. I guess Donovan really heard something he liked from Kenny Atkinson yesterday as he signed in this deal to join the Cavs for another run at a championship. He is the most important player to the Cavs right now. And now things start to open up for the wine and gold. I think that's the exciting part. This offseason, they introduced Kenny Atkinson yesterday. We're going to hear things from him. You now get, I don't want to say the foregone conclusion. Yes, okay, Donovan re-signs. That's now ink to paper, done. He's here. And now I think this just opens things up for the Cavs to be able to continue to attack this offseason if they choose to, right? If they choose to make the changes, but you can now all operate that Donovan Mitchell is going to be on the Cavs for at least the next 3 seasons with a player option, and I would say with an opportunity to maybe re-sign a deal then. I don't want to go that far down the path. Today's a great day for the Cavs, a great day for the city of Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell has re-signed with the wine and gold. Got plenty of Cavs to get to this morning. Guards back in action tonight. We'll talk a lot of baseball. I just wore my Cavs shirt today just because. How did I know it was going to happen? Had no idea. But here we are, kicking things off on a 2 for Tuesday. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you alongside right here. Twitter, at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram and Twitch, at Matt Fontana Show. Appreciate you alongside. With the big news this morning, Donovan Mitchell is back with the Cavs. And, you know, it's kind of funny because I started this offseason questioning him. I started this offseason when I was probably victim of the moment, which I'm glad that Donovan at that point didn't, make his decision right there. You get swept on out, or gentlemen swept on out. You had the injuries, you had drama, you had a head coaching change, all of these things. And we saw the shift start to happen after a couple of weeks after the season. It's like, no, they're excited to happen. And Dan Gilbert saying that they were confident that Donovan was going to come back. And I was glad to be wrong. I'm so glad to be wrong on that. And I think the bigger picture here, as you see all these moves happening across the NBA, and we'll talk about Klay Thompson and the Lakers and where they're going, Paul George going to Philly, I think it matters a lot to Donovan Mitchell that this is his team, right? It's almost like being a head coach. There's only 30 of these jobs out there. For star players like Donovan Mitchell to take over a team, well, there's only so many opportunities to do that. And there's only so many opportunities that you can do it with a team that actually has a chance to win a championship, right? Like, he could take over the Detroit Pistons if he really wanted to, right? He can go to Portland if he wanted to. He is in a place that you expect, bare none, to make the playoffs. You have an owner that's willing to spend. You have nice pieces around you at this point. It made all the sense in the world. And I don't want to say, like, I don't know, right? Do you feel like a relief now that it's, like, official? I think we're all kind of on pins and needles. As much as we believed that he was going to sign, it's now official, and now this opens things up for Kobe Altman and the Cavs to approach their offseason. We'll hear from Kenny Atkinson on Darius Garland. But today is just such a big day. 3 years, $50.3 million. I can do that math. That's 50 a year, and it leaves him open. So there's like this new thing about all these supermax and everything. It guarantees, or it gets Mitchell to his 10-year service criteria that then would allow him to pursue a 5-year, $380 million extension coming up in 2027. I know the Celtics made a lot of noise signing Jason Tatum. They have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both on $300 million contracts. And, oh, by the way, now all of a sudden the Celtics are for sale. Want to pool our money? Call Ken. Call Ken. I wonder what they're offering there. Because the Suns got sold for $4 billion. I think they're going to surpass that with the Celtics.
I saw a tweet about the Celtics. They're like, the next owner's just going to have to figure out all these tax aprons. He's like, here you go.
I know, right? Like,
here's all these players on $300 million deals.
Behind him, right? Somebody else is going to have to come in and get it done. But, you know, with where the NBA is at, and Donovan obviously will be in line for that, and I hope it's here in Cleveland. But did you get a little sense of relief this morning when I looked at it? I said, what? I go, Donovan just sent the tweet. And, of course, Woj had the tweet as well. But Donovan sent the line from Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, what a GOAT movie. What a GOAT line. What a GOAT movie. What a GOAT player. You know, you stuck to your word. I wasn't ever worried to be out. Well, I'll take that back. I was a little bit worried.
You know,
but I did get the sense that he was going to stay because
but we all never knew. Like
you never knew. And now you know you can fully operate that you have your superstar here for the next at least 2 years.
Right.
And I assume that's what the holdup was. I'm assuming the Cavs wanted 4 years of commitment with that 4th year being the player option, Donovan, which very respectfully I understand as the player you want a little bit of leeway there. But you finally got it pen to paper. Now you can fully operate with Donovan Mitchell being your superstar.
And I don't take that player option as a shot for the Cavs.
Not at all.
And that's what star players do.
The LeBron special.
This is the LeBron. I need to hold you guys accountable. And again, he could go sign that 5-year, $380 in a couple of years. But this is, you have a 2-year base. I know 3 years, but like you've got a window now to show Donovan Mitchell that this is the place that you can win. Now, I could really kind of dive back into what does the rest of this offseason look like. And I sent this tweet yesterday coming off of Kenny Atkinson, and we'll talk a lot about Atkinson coming up. If the Cavs choose, and I want to say choose because it is their choice, to bring back this roster and this core 4 as it's currently constructed, I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake. And I would love to be proven wrong on that. And Kenny Atkinson had no choice yesterday but to say, oh, I love Darius Garland, and we'll get the most out of Evan Mobley, and he likes Jared Allen's speed up and down the court, and had him in Brooklyn, all that. He's got to operate that way because that is the truth of today. The truth of today is that these guys are all on this roster. I think it's a mistake. There are 2 guys that I knew was going to be here, Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. You're right, the little relief that we have now. But that's where the Mitchell contract, and the Cavs are going to keep pushing for this. They're going to keep striving forward for this. You got to ask yourself, is this the right team around Donovan Mitchell? Because the other thing, you know, it feels like Donovan has been here for so long, but he's only been here for 2 years, 2 seasons. And you made the playoffs in your first year. You made it to the second round this past year. But they made subtle changes going into year 2, Strus, Niang, a couple other things, right? Now is the time that I want Koby Altman to go all in on what is best for Donovan Mitchell. What is best with him on the floor? Because in my opinion, that trickles down to what's best for the team. I need Koby Altman to shift his mindset. It's not about what is best for the Cavs anymore. It's about what's best for Donovan Mitchell. Because I do think they are one and the same. And I keep coming back to what's best for Donovan Mitchell is I don't think you need Darius Garland here. And I got a lot of tweets from people yesterday. Oh, don't make a move just to make a move, Matt. Don't just sell away Darius Garland short because you feel like you've got to do something. And my only pushback is sometimes there is addition by subtraction. And Darius Garland is not some malcontent. He's not somebody that's bad on the floor. He's just falling off. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what is best for Donovan Mitchell. Now, Koby Altman, 'tis the season, has got to jump cannonball, deep dive right off the diving board into the deep end of the pool and going, what do I need to do to help Donovan Mitchell here? Evan Mobley, I think helps Donovan Mitchell. Jared Allen, I think helps Donovan Mitchell. Maybe Darius Garland does. Maybe he does. And maybe they can piece together some of the little time that they've had together to say, you know what, we think that works. And I will leave the door open that they don't make that move right now. Maybe they actually want to see what Kenny Atkinson can do with it. But now that Mitchell is here, now that he has signed the deal, you have got to operate every single day. Every trade request that you get, every deal that you discuss has got to be what is best for Donovan Mitchell. And saying that, people would go, oh, you're hamstrung by a star? That's the NBA. That is where the NBA is at right now. And you could try to build out, and I know Atkinson talked at length yesterday about his bench, right? And trying to get the most out of the bench. And what do they do in Dallas? What's best for Luka? What are they doing? Now, Boston's a little different because it's Tatum and Brown. But I would say a lot of what they do, what is the best for Jason Tatum? Why did they go get Kristaps Porzingis, right? Why did they bring Derek White in, who now just got paid? What are they doing in L.A.? They would have liked to get Klay Thompson to help LeBron. When you have a star player, and we should know this as Cavs fans for as long as LeBron has been here, when you get that star player, they're on that deal, you do what they need. You do what Donovan Mitchell needs. And sometimes that is ripping a Band-Aid. Sometimes that is a painful move. But I keep coming back that Donovan Mitchell is your best player. He is a guard. I start with that in today's NBA. I think you're on an uphill battle just with that to start. So now, if it is Donovan Mitchell, focal point, what do I need another guard for? It was shown over and over and over again. This team is at its best when Donovan Mitchell is running the point. And I know you'll get worried about what's it like when he comes out of the game. What's that second unit look like? All that kind of stuff. I get it. And that's, again, on Kobe Altman, this bench. Nobody is really talking about the reshaping of the bench that I think is going to have to happen with this team as well. But if you're focused solely on Donovan Mitchell, I don't see where Darius Garland fits in this whole thing. So now that you have the commitment from Donovan Mitchell, I think that opens things up now for Kobe Altman to at least continue to explore. Am I going to sit here and guarantee you that they're trading away Darius Garland this offseason? No, I have no idea. Would I do it? Yes, I would. And now with Kobe, his two biggest, well, would you agree with, what I was going to say was, his two biggest moves are done. The two biggest things for the Cavs this offseason are done. You've got your head coach, and Donovan Mitchell has resigned. Now, I say that, and the reason I paused, Ryan, is because we could be living in a world that a potential trade would be the biggest thing. Nothing is more important than Donovan Mitchell resigning. Done. Okay, Kenny Atkinson here. Great to meet him yesterday and get an introduction to him. Fantastic. Now, we're on to the next big thing, and that's if they want to pull a trade off. And you're not behind the eight ball. Like, obviously, the NBA free agency moves super quick, and you've already got some moves being happening here, guys signing here, all that kind of stuff. So maybe the Cavs understand that, hey, we're already behind the eight ball here. Moves have already been made. We're just going to hold tight until we maybe get to the trade deadline in February. If that's the way they want to go, okay, fine. But I think eventually, if they don't come to that decision this offseason, it might be in the season to realize, is this what's best for Donovan Mitchell? And I would think that Donovan, who's been here for the 2 years, Ryan, he's got an answer to that question. Like, if you sat down with him, and I know that, you know, Kobe and Atkinson went out to see him at his elite camp this past weekend, and they've had a chance to sit down. If you sat down and gave Donovan Mitchell that truth serum, which I always call whiskey, and you sit down with him and you say, do you really think you can work this with Darius Garland? What do you think he would say? And that's tough because it seems like they're friends. It seems like they're close. Darius Garland's an all-star level kind of guy. Donovan Mitchell knows basketball. He knows more basketball than I'll ever know. He has an idea and is leaning one way if this is the type of fit that the Cavs need to go win a championship.
Yeah, it's easy to go ahead and like rip Kobe right now, and you're seeing these Woj bombs and these shams. What do you call a sham? Is it a sham bomb? A sham? A sham slam? A sham slam?
Sham slam is pretty good.
You see all these Woj bombs, these sham slams with these stars getting traded and these players going different places. And you look at the East, that's now becoming this uphill battle to climb. The Celtics are obviously the top of the league. And we see all these moves, and it's easy to get concerned, especially given our last two playoff exits. But then again, we don't know that these moves for the other teams are necessarily going to work out for one. And then as you mentioned, we're all conditioned at this point that Donovan Mitchell doesn't work with Darius Garland. But at the end of the day, we don't know what Donovan Mitchell truly thinks. Maybe he enjoys playing with Darius, and he thinks that Darius, once he bounced back from his hell of a season, that they can make it work. And we look at Kenny
hell
Atkinson.
of a season, not in a good way. Hell of a
Yeah,
season, right?
a hell season, I
he
should
didn't
say.
have a hell of a season. He had a hell of a season.
A hell season.
Yeah.
And Kenny Atkinson, and we'll get to the clips eventually here, but, he's been in Golden State. He mentioned it with two guards with Steph and Clay, and even the two bigs he mentioned with Draymond. It's interesting to see because at the end of the day, there is still a reality, as far-fetched as it may seem, given what we saw last year, that it does work out. But we're just conditioned that we see the evolution of the NBA with the five bigs the five that can all shoot and stretch the floor, as we saw with the Celtics.
I'm glad you brought that up, right? What is your dream vision? Imagine if you were doing did you ever start a Madden Dynasty and do a fantasy draft? I did that one time. So, like, Peyton Manning was my quarterback. I had Calvin Johnson. Like, you just play a team out. It's a lot of fun. Imagine that. If you had Donovan Mitchell as your guy, what is your ultimate lineup with Donovan Mitchell? I start with a guy like Evan Mobley. I think he actually is a great piece fit to go along with Donovan Mitchell. But then what would your other three spots be? 6'8" guys who can shoot, right? That's also where the league is at. You would have a big in Evan Mobley, and you would have your guard in Donovan Mitchell. If I was creating a fantasy lineup for the Cavs, and I could just pick anybody that I wanted, your best lineup is Mitchell with a big that can move, Evan Mobley, and hopefully he can shoot a little bit better. Three other shooters.
Yep.
Three other guys, 6'8", 6'7", they can all shoot. Well, that's how Darius Garland, That's and other ancillary guys, Karis LeVert and Max Strus and all the other guys you'll kind of fill in. And I get that's your pie in the sky. Shoot for that. Do you ever have a teacher in school tell you, shoot for the moon, Ryan, because if you miss, you'll still land among the stars? You ever had a teacher tell you that? Shoot for the moon. If you miss,
a variation of
stars. Yeah. Shoot for that. Shoot for the ultimate, I would say all-star, but like the ultimate lineup for Donovan Mitchell. That has got to now be the sole focus for Kobe Altman. You have some nice pieces here. And again, we live in reality. That's my super, my ideal world. We live in this reality. You've got some pieces, don't have much cap space. I'm going to ask you to shoot for it here. And no, and this is another part from Woj's article, right? And he said, Mitchell and his agent, co-head of CAA basketball, Austin Brown, met with Kobe Altman on Saturday in Los Angeles, and they reached the agreement on Saturday. Could you imagine keeping that under your hat for 3 days that they had this deal done? This is from Woj. A significant part of Mitchell's belief in committing on a deal comes with he and his representatives' confidence in the Cavs organization to keep building the Cavs into a championship contender and an alignment on a partnership of how they'll play a part in doing it together, sources said. That was from Woj. You want me to read it again here?
Yeah.
A significant part of Mitchell's belief in committing on a new deal comes with the confidence that the organization is going to keep building the Cavs into a championship contender and an alignment on a partnership of how they'll play a part in doing it together. That is from Woj. That's a star player. That's, again, LeBron. I keep saying LeBron just because that's our version of the closest that we have to this. What do you need, man? What do you need? We're going to try hard to get you what you need. Understanding that, again, we don't live in a fantasy world. But what do you need? What do you see being the best? And we're going to try to do that for you.
So right now, Matt, we talk about potential wings because obviously that's the biggest need. And you look at a guy like Brandon Ingram. Well, what's the reason you wouldn't trade for him? Why? Because you can leave right after the year, right? So now that you're talking about you have Donovan Mitchell locked up, you got to go all in. Are you making that trade? Without knowing that you may lose him after this year.
That's the other thing. Like, when you think about it doesn't have to be right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's exactly what you're getting to, right? Do you make a trade now to help you in the now, cut your nose off to spite your face, whatever you want to do? I'm sitting here begging for a trade. But this is, as Woj puts, a long-term thing. Now, it's not a 5-year extension, but it's the belief that they're not going to stop trying. It's a belief that in 2 years, we will not be the Atlanta Hawks trading off everybody. We're not going to be a team that goes into a full rebuild. And you want to know one of the best things about this is Donovan Mitchell is, I try to think of a cool word or a cool description here, but it is what he holds you off of a rebuild. He is the rebuild stopper in this whole thing. Because as long as he is here, you will not be rebuilding. There's no way, as long as he is still with the Cavs And they also need to keep proving to him to get another deal on the back end of this that we are going to keep going for this. We are going to keep shooting for this. So now that he is signed, kind of a cold-hearted conversation, but it is what it is. You could go and be like, oh, dude, you signed, you're here. We don't need to do anything right now. What are you going to do, go back on the deal? No, you're here for the now. Let's play this out for a little bit, because me, sometimes being a reactionary type of person, you're like, oh, he signed? Do something right now. Do it now. He signed. We got to go right now. We got to go make a trade today. Let's do something to prove to Donovan Mitchell this is the right place to be. Well, the comeback is, you already signed. What does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, he already signed. He's here with the Cavs. You don't need to do anything in this exact moment to prove anything to him. Can't go back on the deal now. He's here. So you can maybe... This is a great question, Ryan. Does Donovan Mitchell signing his extension today put more pressure on Kobe Altman or give him a little reprieve right now?
No, more.
You think it right now. You've signed it. You got to go now. Because you could say, he signed. Now I can take a breath. Now I can, all right, let's sit back. Let's see what moves come to us. Or the other side of it, where I think you and I are both at, he signed. You got to go.
When you look at the roster, how it's constructed right now, there's inherently more pressure, because as good as the Donovan Mitchell signing is, and as big as that was the number one priority this offseason, that's not the end goal. The end goal is to compete in the East, go compete for Eastern Conference championships, and go to the NBA Finals again. So now it's more pressure, because you have your piece set up here. Now that launches you to the next step to go fill this roster the way Donovan needs, so we can lead us to the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's... You have just now opened the, I have a saying, I've said it before, Ryan, you've heard it before. The work starts now. Anytime you get something at work, you get a promotion, you get a raise, something like that, the work starts now. The work starts now for Kobe Altman. The work starts now that Mitchell has signed. He's here. What is your follow-up to that? And I'm sure they had contingency plans, and they were operating. The other nice thing is they were operating like he was coming back. This was not out of a left field, a twist, or what twist that would have been if he said, I'm leaving or I'm out of here. But, you could operate, and Kobe could have operated under the idea that Donovan Mitchell was coming back. That allowed him to start thinking about some other things. Now, I want to get to Kenny Atkinson because he spoke yesterday, but obviously, again, the breaking news this morning, Donovan Mitchell has re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. 3 years, $150 million maximum extension that includes a player option for 2027, 2028. But in reality, Mitchell should probably at that point be ready to sign a 5-year, $380 million max extension in 2027 when he hits the 10-year service criteria for the NBA. So that obviously is something that, I want to say was that was always probably going to happen. I think even as we talked through it, there were a lot of people that said the 4-year probably wasn't going to be it. And the Cavs, obviously, you'll take any Donovan Mitchell you can get. You can take any Donovan Mitchell that you can get. But I keep going back to what Woj wrote. The belief that Mitchell has that this team is going to keep pushing for a championship. Because you want to know the other side of that coin? It's never been harder. Look at what the East is right now. Now, thank God you're not in the West. But the East has gotten significantly better. You see the Knicks retooling. You see the Boston Celtics keeping their guys around. You get Paul George there in Philly. The East is going to be very, very hard. You at one point, and you might have to go through two of them. Ryan, you got to go through the Celtics, the 76ers, the Knicks, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks. You might have to reface the Orlando Magic again. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to go through at least one of them, if not two of them. It could lay out that you're going to have to beat the Philadelphia 76ers in a 7-game series and then have to go face Boston, potentially. There is no easy way to go. And right now, that might seem like a tall task because that's where today's a great day. Today's a joyous day that Donovan Mitchell is back. He's not going anywhere. He's staying with the Cavs. But it brings up, Ryan, that we were not good enough last year. We were not good enough. And I like the Kenny Atkinson hire. I think there's a nice change there. Some of the things he's going to bring with the pace and what he sees with some of the other guys, that's great. Ryan, it's not good enough. It's not. And you got a direct look at the premier team in your conference. You saw the Boston Celtics for 5 games. You saw them in the regular season. Now, I will say this, though, and I think we even talked about it when that series was going on. Do the Cavs not seem to have a little bit? I know I say this because we got gentlemen swept, but like some of those regular season games that we have had with Boston, we seem to have a little something for them. You know what I mean? Like I go back to some regular season games, even of last year, that I go, you know what? I think, when we can take it to them, we'll take it to them. So you got to believe that you can keep pushing, but knowing that the East is about as tough as it's been in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the Celtics series. It's not like we rolled over and died. Yes, we were clearly the not better team, the worst team there. But you look, they swept the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost 1 game to Dallas. Boston was an insanely good team, and we clearly didn't measure up to them. But you still need plenty of steps to happen. You got the first step in Donovan Mitchell re-signing and committing here. That's great. Now you need the development of Evan Mobley, which is why you hired Kenny Atkinson, at least a very big part of it, because he's got to at least be... Let me ask you this, Matt. What do you think about this? Do you think to win an NBA championship, Evan Mobley has to be better than Donovan Mitchell at one point?
That's a great question. And I would cop out and say, why not give me a little Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum?
Okay.
Because excuse me.
Even then, you go look at the Celtics roster. Yes, their best 2 players on paper are Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
But go look at who player. You know what I mean?
Go look at all the other players that in those finals. Drew Holiday stepped up huge. Yep. Derek White was great, and Kristaps Porzingis in that game 1 was incredible. As good as you are, and as 2 stars that you have, you need these other players. And right now on a roster, that's not it.
Well, the other thing is, if you get that development, which I would imagine again, an enticement or an excitement about Donovan Mitchell re-signing is when you see a guy like Evan Mobley. And I know that Cavs fans were kind of down on him a little bit this past season. I get it. He's got to work on his outside game. You want his shot to kind of progress a little bit. Those guys don't just fall to your team all the time. You look at what he does already defensively. Those guys aren't a dime a dozen. Those guys are hard to find. And I think with Mitchell... being as smart as he is, which again, I go back to the Woj quote about them working together on the future and where you're at, that Evan Mobley has got to be a top 2 player for you. And the dream is what? The dream that we wanted with LeBron and Kyrie, that during a long regular season, you know what? Tonight's the night that Donovan Mitchell's going to go off for 35. And then on Tuesday night, it's going to be Evan Mobley's game. And then that's your... But then when you get to the playoffs, those 2 guys will be your dominant ones. That's the dream. That's the goal of everybody when they put their team together. So, what does Donovan want? A running mate. He wants somebody that can help him. He can't do it all by himself. That kind of comes back to where I don't think Darius Garland is it. I don't think Darius Garland is the right running mate for Donovan Mitchell. I think Evan Mobley can, and I think Jared Allen's a fine piece. It just keeps coming back to Darius Garland. Just keeps coming back. And if it got to a point of just making a trade to make a trade, can I address that for a second? Because I sent the tweet yesterday where I go, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. That running it back with just these core 4 is not a mistake. Because I truly feel like it is. I hope I'm wrong. But when you look at Donovan Mitchell, I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. Does he need to put his stamp on something to say, I am the star guy of this team? I am going to make it. It's almost like he's making the move. You know what I mean? It's almost like I'm going to almost pull LeBron and I'm going to say, this is what I want done. And this is what I need you guys to do. Now, the issue is, what's the last thing LeBron told them to do in Cleveland? And they did it anyway. It was trade Kyrie Irving away, right? Remember, LeBron said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. They did it. And eventually kind of led to LeBron leaving. But I'm just saying, star players have power. Star players. What did LeBron tell the Lakers? Go get me Klay Thompson. Now, that didn't happen, but star players have to put their mark on the team. Now that Mitchell is here, is that your stamp? Is that something for Mitchell to say, you know what? It's almost like Donovan's first move. You know what I mean? Like, as the now... Yeah, he's been, but I'm saying now that he's signed up, this is his team. What's Donovan's first big move? Because I would tell you this. It's Darius Garland. Does he say keep him or get rid of him?
Well, where does it come back to when Darius Garland and Clutch said if Donovan Mitchell stays, we want to go find a better place for Darius Garland? Because now is this now are you backtracking on that? Was that just a posturing move?
What are we doing with that? Does Kobe call the bluff? Does he call the bluff? I really wonder what Donovan feels about that. Because, right, we'll try to do this. I was trying to bring it back to, average everyday life, right? What if you went to the big wigs here at Big Play and you said, I'll come, I don't want to work with Matt anymore. You got to get rid of him. I don't want to work here anymore. And then you walk in here and I see you and I go, what's that bull crap all about? You know what I mean? Like, does Donovan take that personally? Now, this is a business, and you would say that Darius is probably, and the same thing from Rich Paul and Clutch, they feel like Darius can blossom somewhere else, and he could become the star guy in a team. Oh, my God. Can we... This is going to sound really negative and really bad, and I apologize to start. Darius Garland's never been the leading guy in an NBA team. He's just never going to be. I'm sorry. He can go pick it up in Portland and lead them to 35 wins.
And I don't even think that's by any stretch of the. And I don't think by any stretch of the imagine, Matt, that's a diss by any means.
I don't think any team's looking at him and saying that guy can lead a team.
And I don't think that's a diss by any means.
So then that's my point. Why leave Donovan if you're always going to be a number two? If Rich, is this an issue that Rich Paul needs to sit Darius Garland and down and go, dude, you ain't ever going to be a one. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You're never going to be a one.
It's you come to a decision with your career path, right? You can either be on a team where you want to contend for championships, or you can go down the Damian Lillard route and you can be the star of a player and put up points every night, but really you're first round exit every year.
And where did he have to go? He had to go to a team where he was going to be the number two.
And why did he go there? To make Giannis or why did the Bucks get him? To make Giannis happy.
Exactly. So if that's what you're ultimately searching for Darius, now the other thing at play might be they want him to go to a team where he can make another All-NBA team and be in like that. Would not shock me if that is something that if he went to a decent team and put up just gaudy numbers and made third team All-NBA, and then he triggers a supermax and he can make it's a great question that I think the Cavs need to get an answer to. If Darius Garland still does not want to be here, because again, Clutch came out and they said, if Donovan Mitchell resigns, we don't want to be here. Well, Donovan Mitchell resigned. Is this motivation money, or is the motivation, I just don't want to play beside him anymore? Those are two different answers. One of them is more easily remedied, and that is you just don't want to play alongside him. But you're already on the rookie supermax. You already signed your max, not supermax. I keep saying supermax, but you're on your rookie max. You made your all-star team. And I hate to just sit here and keep crapping on Darius Garland. Do you ever think he's actually going to make another all-star team in his career? I'm so negative. I'm so down. I hate it just watching how the season went out. But it's
in Cleveland, no.
That's probably why I don't want to be here then. If that's still a thing. Should you factor in, if you're Kobe Altman, you've got Donovan back, you probably have an idea in your head of what this team should look like. Do you then factor in what Darius Garland actually wants? Or do you say, don't even worry about it? I'm going to make a trade or not make a trade. I guess, is Kobe actually going to acquiesce to Donovan's request? Or, I'm sorry, Darius's request? Is he actually going to listen to that? Because that should be a factor.
Well, what if they're hand in hand? What if Darius wants out and Donovan Mitchell feels that it's best that Darius moves on?
Then get rid of him tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying.
Then get rid of him tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
And then to answer your question, if Donovan,
and that's
interesting because if Donovan wants him gone, then you would be like,
well, you want to know what that is? That's a clean cut. There's nothing of somebody trying to hold on and be like, no, because imagine LeBron and Kyrie. Darius wants out of here in the worst way, and Donovan's like, no, stay. I really want you to stay. Then that gets ugly when he leaves. That is your dream scenario. Darius wants to leave, and Donovan says, go ahead and go. And the Cavs feel the same way. Clean cut, don't got to worry about it.
I just can't imagine, though, that if Donovan sat down with Darius and told him that he believes in him and that they can work together, then I can't believe that Darius would still commit to a trade request. Why would he?
But that comes back to what is the motivation?
Right.
What is Darius Garland's motivation if he still wants this trade? And I would imagine, I know it's the 4th of July week and everything, but Ryan, as this plays out, I would imagine some point in this week or next, we will get a little update on Darius Garland. I'd like that update now. Do you still want to be traded? Do you still want out of here? That changes everything. Because if he still does, and you sit down and you talk to Donovan and he goes, yeah, that's probably what he wants, then go. And at that point, again, I can say this. I don't care what they get back in return. Kobe Altman can't do that. He's got to make the right trades. Like, again, he's not sitting here with a rich of salary cap space or picks and things like that. And also, you need players back. That's another thing about Donovan Mitchell and the push the Cavs to make for a championship. Any trade that you want to make, I don't care about 2027 second-round draft picks anymore. How many times did you ever see the Cavs make a trade for draft picks with LeBron? How many draft picks did we make while he was here? Like, none, because you traded him away. Now, the issue is you don't have any right now. When you trade Darius Garland, it better be for players. And if it's a world that it's him and Karis LeVert, it's him and I don't even know who else, like whatever. It better be a 2-for-3 or a 1-for-3 or a 1-for-2. You had better get back meaningful players for the now. F them picks. All of them. You need players if and when you make that trade with Darius Garland. And I'll sit there and I'll talk myself into the players that they're talking about that they want to bring in. Fine. Somebody pitched me on a Trae Young trade again yesterday.
Well, that would be like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
I was talking to. And I think it was not that this is actually any substance to it, but we were just kind of BSing about things. And they said, Trae Young might actually be the better version of Darius Garland. And I said, what? Because he can shoot the three a little bit better? And he goes, yeah. Going back to the idea that Donovan just needs a bunch of guys that can shoot around him, would you not be upgrading your shooting by going from Trae Young? Or Darius Garland and Trae Young? And I was like, yeah, probably.
I suppose.
I'm a Trae Young detractor. I don't think Trae Young's very good. That Athletic article that they surveyed the league, and he came out as one of the most overrated players in the entire NBA. I am not a Trae Young fan at all. But if that's the move that, if you would say it's almost a wash, but then your payoff is it's not Darius. It's like the payoff is you made the move, you maybe improved your shooting a little bit, then you get what I'm saying. Like, you're making the move at that point for the sake of making a move. And you got to make the money work and all that other kind of stuff. But if the trade happens, if they decide that Darius Garland's not the right fit here, then you do the best with what you can. I won't sit there and as much as Kobe is catching crap, you were telling me yesterday, Ryan, people are on Twitter just giving him a load of crap.
Yeah, they were not.
For some of the things that he said yesterday. I'll give him a pass on that. If they make the decision that Darius is going to be traded, I don't care what they get back. I don't. I have a wish list. I would say a 6'6" wing or a 6'7" wing that can shoot, whatever. At that point, if you decide he's got to be traded, just trade him. Just move him on. The other side of thing is Jared Allen. And I want to hear from Kenny Atkinson. So, again, a lot of great enough news this morning with Donovan Mitchell. We got an introduction to Kenny Atkinson yesterday. And I think off of what Kenny had to say, but also even some of the things I'm reading this morning, it sounds like Jared Allen's coming back. That's fine. I've got nothing wrong with that. And I see the fit a little bit more, frankly, with Mitchell, with Allen and Mobley than I do with Darius Garland. So let's hear from Kenny Atkinson yesterday. He got introduced as the new Cavs head coach. Audio and video courtesy of the Cavs. We appreciate that very much. First up, let's get to the Bigs comment. Here's Kenny Atkinson, a question about do you see it working between Evan Mobley and Jared Allen on the floor together? Again, courtesy of the Cavs. Here's Kenny Atkinson yesterday talking about his two bigs.
Yeah, you're right. The league is changing, right? The league is changing fast. It's a faster league. There's no doubt about it. I will say our kind of unique situation here, we got two bigs that are fast. They're just not big guys. They're knowing Jared really well. I mean, that was the thing to track. He can really get him. Evan is a 400-meter sprinter. Like he's got incredible speed for his size. I will say my experience in Golden State, I think, is going to really help. We played, Draymond and Looney together a lot. We won a lot of series like that. So knowing how to use those two is going to be important, because we want to keep that defensive identity. We want to keep that base. That's so important. Now it's and part of my job is going to be figure out how can we get those guys, that group with the two bigs to be more efficient offensively.
So that's Kenny Atkinson talking about his two bigs. Again, thank you, the Cavs, for the video and audio there. I don't buy that, man. Draymond's 6'6". Kevon Looney, yeah, he's a big man. He's not like Jared Allen nor Evan Mobley.
And you're also talking about when you have the best shooter in NBA history.
Yeah.
Paired up with arguably the second best shooter in NBA history. Obviously, I'm referring to Stephen Clay.
Right. That's a little different. And if you wanted to, mold and kind of change, that's fine. Go give me a Klay Thompson on this team then. Because I'm not saying that they would have made that move for Klay, but, that's what you need. That's what you need. If Max Strus was a little bit of a version of Klay Thompson, I think we're singing a different tune here. So, again, Kenny's got to operate with what he's got right now. But there's a lot of weight on the side of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley working. Number one, Mobley has untapped potential. What is one of the best things about Kenny Atkinson? He's a development type of coach. Jared Allen has a history with Kenny Atkinson, so he knows what the best version of Jared Allen is. That's why those work. Again, I didn't buy the necessarily thing about Draymond Green there, because Draymond's not anywhere near the size of those guys. But he's talking about defense. He's talking about big men. Sure, fine, okay. Next up from Kenny Atkinson, we talked about the two bigs. Let's talk about the two guards. So he was asked, and this was obviously yesterday before the Mitchell extension, but obviously he knew about it. So before the Mitchell extension, I think Daryl asked the question. Shout out to Daryl. Love him very much. 92.3 The Fan. Great question. How do you see the guards working between Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland? Audio video courtesy of the Cavs. Here's Kenny Atkinson on his guards.
That's what they're going to pay me for here. You have four all-star. Evan will be an all-star. I think we all know that. So you got 4 all-stars. We got to make it work, and that's part of the reason I'm here. I've already spoken to Darius multiple times, and I'm just a huge fan. I mean, I can't tell you how many times he destroyed us when we were in Brooklyn. He's obviously a great shooter, excellent, underrated passer. So it seems like something that when you have multiple ball handlers, and again, I'll hark back to my Golden State experience. Steph and Jordan Poole. You have a lot of pieces, but the talent's there. So it's just we're going to work on tweaking this where we maximize those guys. But I just love both of them together, quite honestly.
That I also buy. If I'm sitting here saying, again, it's Kenny Atkinson, audio video courtesy of the Cavs. He's in his introductory press conference. He's not going to give you every little thing, and he's going to win the press conference. He didn't pull a J.J. Redick. He did a great job. Fine. So he's going to throw his flowers at Jared Allen and Darius Garland and certainly Donovan Mitchell and all that kind of stuff. But when I said I didn't buy what he was selling about what they did in Golden State with Draymond and Kevon Looney compared to Mobley and Allen, I actually buy what he's selling about Garland and Mitchell being a little comparison to Steph, and he said Jordan Poole, but again, to Klay Thompson. That, I think, is a more apt comparison. And they keep bringing up Golden State because that's where Kenny was an assistant. And Brooklyn, that team was a bit of a hodgepodge of different guys, and that was kind of further ago. So you go with the more recent thing, and he was under Steve Kerr. That I actually buy from Kenny, where he goes, I've got experience with multiple guards. Now, they're a little shorter even. Like Jordan Poole, is he not like 6'4", something like that?
I don't know anything about Jordan Poole.
He's 6'4". That was right. And Steph's like 6'1", 6'2", so he's probably closer to where Mitchell and Garland are from a height standpoint. So I buy that. I do buy that from Kenny Atkinson, where he's got the experience with the two guards, and he said, I love them together. Does that maybe flip things? I mean, Ryan, you said you saw it on Twitter. Windy, of course, over there on ESPN Cleveland talking to Aaron and all them. And he's kind of made it sound like maybe Jared Allen's the one that's going to get moved now. As I got done for 10 minutes trying to tell you why I think Darius Garland needs to get moved. I guess, like, that's a weird one for me.
If you're viewing this from the sense of the NBA evolving into this shooters league where you truly the best route is 5 shooters on the floor,
yes,
then the one you move is Jared Allen. Now, then that's the thing. Kenny Atkinson, what'd you bring him in for player development? Darius Garland probably needs more development than Jared Allen does. And if you can do that, then that's probably the better route.
I would look at it this way, too. You think about, like, I was going to order it this way. Trade Darius, keep the core 4, then trade Jared Allen. That was kind of my shock on this whole thing, is that if I had to order maybe the likeliness of what I think is going to happen this offseason, I would have said trade Darius, keep the core 4, and then trade Jared Allen. So I think this is a real flip for me to hear that Jared Allen might actually be the one moved. But I also then have to be happy if the Cavs, what did I say? I didn't want the core 4 back, right? They had to make a move. So at least they're making that move. Maybe this has to do with what they can get back.
I'd love to see what you can get back.
Maybe this is more about Jared Allen would actually return you more.
And I think he would.
And there's also Darius comes back and maybe reestablishes a little of his value. I will listen to, and this is something that people tried to tell me a lot yesterday, Darius has no value right now. He has none. He had an atrocious season. He's coming off injury, and he's got a contract that he's not living up to at the moment. So maybe you hold on to him and try to reestablish that, and either A, that's going to help your team, or B, it will get the trade value back up. Where Jared Allen had a borderline all-star season. Remember, we were arguing about him making the all-star team.
That was the biggest snub.
Right. He was a borderline all-star, and he's got a very manageable contract. What's he got, 1 year after this season coming up? I think at $20 million.
And he's very more easier to trade and plug and play to a team than Darius is.
It's a lot easier to do. I guess I would argue and say, sometimes life isn't easy, man. Kobe, sometimes I don't need you to take the easy path out of this thing. You know, you maybe need to do the harder thing. But it comes back to what I start to show it. What is best for Donovan Mitchell? What is best for Donovan Mitchell?
Well, then it comes back to, Matt, we talk about this is Donovan's team and, you know, the little LeBron type where you're micromanaging the roster. He was sticking up for Jarrett when JB came with those backhanded comments.
That, and what you're talking about is when JB made slide comments about not taking the shot and Donovan posted on Instagram a picture of Jarrett. Was that so much defending Jarrett as it was throwing shade at JB? I think I was probably more throwing shade at JB than it was. I'm not saying that he doesn't like Jared Allen or wanted to defend his guy. I think that was more of that bridge was nuclear detonated between him and JB Bickerstaff, and he didn't want that, you know. He wanted to take one more pot shot out the door. That's fine. You know, and again, here's the thing. I bet you Donovan Mitchell likes Darius Garland. He likes Jared Allen. I'm sure that they're buddies. How could they not be? But when you come back to what's best for me and for this basketball team, and I do want to say that the moves that they will make this offseason, because, okay, let me do it this way, right? Are you conditioned that there is some sort of move still coming for the Cavs? We think trade, because that's got to be it. There's not much else. Like, are we for sure that they're going to do something else?
I hope so.
Okay. So with that,
and I'm not buying. I think it's smoke. I'm not buying they're running it back.
That is just for the now. That is just for the right now. Do you? Another. We have a lot of questions we don't have answers to because we're not in the head of Donovan Mitchell. Do you think that Donovan Mitchell has enough of the answer? Can I work with these other 3 guys? That is the whole crux of this argument. Does Kobe Altman and Donovan Mitchell, over 2 years, this past year being injury-filled, do they have enough of a sample size to make the declaration, does this 4 work?
I think so. And if if the answer is no,
and we don't know what the answer is. Answers either yes or no, but do they have enough to make
Unless you
give you an answer.
Unless you truly believe that JB Bickerstaff had no idea what he was doing and was not running the right sets at all and couldn't make it work, then maybe. But no way. I think 2 years is plenty enough to understand whether you can. Yeah, I think so. In the NBA, yeah, I do think so.
Yeah, plenty of time to figure out, is this work? And the big twist would be work under Kenny Atkinson. That would be the final thing.
Right.
Does
like, was JB really
is that a big
detrimental to the team? I can't buy that.
You can only work with what you're given. Is this enough for Kenny Atkinson to work with? Final thing, want to hear from Kenny Atkinson. What do you believe? The question was posed from Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. What does a Kenny Atkinson-led team look like? That was a question, Kenny Atkinson. Let's hear it. Audio, video, courtesy of the Cavs.
I think first thing, and you know, when you first get to a team, it's really get to know your players, like establish the relationships. And I know Kobe and I are before we talk about tactics and what style of play, but it's really that, and because I really believe that's, you know, it's a big part of player development is first establishing the relationships. I'm going full in on that. You know, going to see Donovan and you know, going out there and seeing some of the guys, that was our first task. So that's the first part of it. And then as I get to know them better as players, I'm going to, you know, me and my staff are going to figure out what fits best. And you know, there's a lot of good things in place. There's you know, some really great basketball. There's a great basketball identity in place, a great defensive identity. So we're going to have to figure out where are we winning on the margins. You know, what are the margins? Where can we get better? I always think it starts with, you know, I'll kind of quote Donovan's old college coach, Rick Pitino. It starts with, if every guy gets a little bit better, every individual gets a little bit better, that's how you can make the next step. And then I think we'll have a strong staff that'll make the tactical adjustments that we need to make to move this thing forward.
That was Kenny Atkinson, video, audio, courtesy of the Cavs, talking about what his vision for this Cavs team is. What he's saying there is it's not a finished product, that you're always evolving, you're always wanting your guys to get a little bit better. The thing is, you are trying to do this a little against the grain of what the rest of the NBA is. Now, Ryan, remember when we had those conversations about Allen and Mobley, and we said, that's fine, this is great, you know, screw everybody else, you're going to zig, we'll zag, you got to deal with our two bigs here. You did that because that's what was in front of you. That's because that's what you had. Again, fantasy world, you would probably rather just assimilate into what the rest of the NBA is. There's a reason that the NBA is shifting in this direction. And if you want to say, well, everybody's going this way, we're going to go that way. And that's what we have in front of us. It doesn't mean that eventually you don't go, all right, maybe we got to go join these guys. There's a reason that the rest of these teams are doing it the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like in football. Everybody wants to pass. All right, well, we're going to run. We're going to run. Everybody's going to pass, so we're going to go run. Well, eventually you're going to have to go pay $230 million to a franchise quarterback to come in here and throw the football around.
And then go look at the past, 5 NBA champions. You look at the Celtics, what they just did. Then you have the Nuggets with Jokic. I mean,
there's a reason that, again,
there's a reason that these trends are the trends. It's easy to say you're going to zag, right, when you have the roster in front of you and there's not much you can do about it. And I understand that's where point where we were at, especially not knowing what Donovan Mitchell's future was. Now you know what Donovan Mitchell's future is for at least the next 2 years, hopefully more than that. It's time to zig, Matt.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to go all in on that, but you got to take some of the trends of what's going on with your basketball team and the rest of the NBA. You can do a little bit of pushing against the grain. You can't do it all the way, at least in my opinion, to go try to win a championship. And, you know, now that Donovan is here, I believe he can. I mean, the ultimate question is, can Donovan Mitchell be a guy that takes you to an NBA championship? I think we all believe that. Now, he needs Evan Mobley. What happens with the rest of that roster? He can't all do it by himself, but you have a start with a guy like Donovan Mitchell who I believe you actually can go win a championship with. That's it. I mean, the question is, do you think he's going to do it with his time here in Cleveland? That's a hard question. I mean, it's a tough road to go, man.
It's hard. It's a tough road because as much as it's indicative on Donovan Mitchell's play, there's so many other factors that maybe are more or maybe equal, if not more important.
Yep.
That number one being how good Evan Mobley transcends to.
Yep, that's exactly where it is. All right, plenty to get to in hour two. We got some Guardians. I've got power rankings. I've got the one player every team should try to trade away, including a name for the Guardians to go get. and it is a pitcher. I will tell you who that is. We'll dive into some baseball. I want to talk Clay because every time a guy leaves the team and the team instantly goes, oh, we're retiring that number. Yes, I don't think Kevin Love nor Kyrie Irving should have their jersey retired for the Cavs. People think I'm crazy for that. I want to discuss Clay going to the Mavericks. We'll get to that. Plenty coming up at hour 2. We'll get to the grid. We got the bracket, or assuming not the bracket. We got the morning update. And, of course, we get to timeout coming up as well. Ryan, we're about a week away from the senior PGA champions coming to Firestone with the colleague championships. Ryan and I will be doing our show. In fact, wait a minute. Can I give you the full lineup of us here at Big Play? Let's do it. So, again, down there at Firestone, College Championships, collegechampionships.com, you can get $25 tickets that not only get you into the golf tournament, but they get you over to the Colleague Infinity Zone. Music every night, partnership with Folds of Honor for a military appreciation concert on Friday night. They have food trucks. They've got X Golf. They've got LA Golf. They've got Horse Soldier Bourbon there. And here is our lineup. And I think, Brian, they can just come watch us do the show, right? Because we're just going to be in the Infinity Zone, right?
Correct.
All right. Thursday, 9:50, Big Play Cleveland show. Reflog, Gab, Padone. Noon Thursday, Drennan. 3 o'clock Thursday, Gab and Hanford. Friday, Ryan and I kick things off. 9 a.m. Friday. Chico's going to come in at noon. 1 o'clock will be the return with Josh and Maria. And then the 2 o'clock show will be Come Get Some with Greg and Blake. So basically, all of our Cleveland shows, right? The Cincinnati guys, unfortunately, won't be there. Bobby won't be there. But all of our Cincinnati shows, all of our Cleveland shows will be there between Thursday and Friday. So again, Big Play Cleveland show, 9:50 on Thursday. Drennan, noon on Thursday. Hanford, 3 o'clock on Thursday. Friday, our show at 9, Chico at 12, 1 o'clock for Josh and Maria, and 2 o'clock, Come Get Some with Greg and Blake Williams. That's where we're at, collegechampionships.com. You get your tickets. Again, $25 not only gets you into the tournament, it gets you in the Infinity Zone with the food trucks, with the music, the beverages. It's a great place to chill. And then you get to go out and watch senior golf. I mean, everybody's watching the U.S. Senior Open this past weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. So we'll see you there at Firestone next week, July 10th through the 14th. We'll be there pretty hot and heavy on Thursday and Friday. So we'll see you there, collegechampionships.com for all your tickets. All right, Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Follow us on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show, X if you will. YouTube, subscribe to our channel. We're up on Twitch, and you can follow the Instagram for all the clips and all the show nuggets there. Let's catch our break. Morning update, baseball, Clay, got it all. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
At Colleague Companies, we are making a difference in the lives of children and families in our community. For 70 years, Firestone Country Club has been a stage for some of the greatest golfers in history, but it's more than just a tournament, having raised over $30 million for charitable organizations in Northeast Ohio. That's why we're proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Colleague Companies Championship at Firestone Country Club. Join us in continuing the legacy of giving back at this incredible event and help us make an even bigger impact in Northeast Ohio.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, Tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky
Big day for us. Big day for Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell re-signing with the Cavs. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Follow us on Twitter at Matt Fontana Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitch and, of course, Instagram for all the clips and the reels. Got plenty to get to. Hour one was all Donovan, all Cavs. Heard from Kenny Atkinson. Got a little introduction to him. But here we go. All the other stories. Ryan's got them. We'll get to the grid as well. Should we do basketball grid today?
Well, to be determined. We'll take a look.
We'll take a look at it. You know, we like doing the grid. We have fun with it, but today's a big basketball day. Maybe we'll get it done. We'll have to see. Nonetheless, Ryan Morning, update the stories. Got to know. Please take it away.
Alrighty, well, we got to show some love to our Guardians. They are still 6 games leading in the AL Central. Now they have a chance to get fat as they take on the White Sox at Progressive Field. Game 1 tonight, 6:40, first pitch on the mod for the Guardians, Carlos Carrasco.
All right. He's got a lot of starts against the White Sox. It's always funny, though, because like they'll bring up career stats, and I'm like, Carlos has been pitching so long that the guys that he was facing are all retired at this point. But nonetheless, let's get after it tonight. We'll run through our trends later to place your bets on that. But Guardians, I think were like, I want to say they were like minus 200 to win the game. I mean, that's like a pretty, they're minus 200 to win. Minus a run and a half is only minus 110. So you got a guy in the hill for the White Sox that's 2-7, excuse me. Get after it. Get back on the winning track. You're back at home. You'll have packed crowds all this week for 4th of July. So get back on it. You know, I went over to CBS Sports in their power rankings. They had the Guardians at 2. They kept the Guardians at 2. And the guy that wrote the article, Matt Snyder, he said and he was upset that we didn't play well against the Royals because he goes, I was looking for every reason to put the Guardians at 1, but I couldn't do it after how we played against the Royals. So he's got the Phillies at 1, Guardians 2, Orioles at 3, Dodgers, Yankees starting to slip down just a little bit, but it's right up on the Guardians. Through Tuesday, I was set to finally push the Guardians to the number 1 spot. They had earned it with their consistent winning all season and then by taking 2 out of 3 against Baltimore. They must have sensed it because then the Guardians dropped 4 of 5 to close the week. I get it. Taking the mantle in my power rankings carries a ton of prestige, and not every team can deal with it. He says, on a serious note, I was pretty disappointed that they dropped those 3 out of 4 to the Royals. My intro above would have matched perfectly with them sitting at number 1. Yeah, I mean, you're good. Hey, listen, if you're going to play me a season where a 4-game losing streak or losing 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6 is the worst that you do, you're going to be all right. To your point, it's the White Sox. They suck. Take care of business. Get on the bats. And we'll be doing just fine at the end of the week.
Well, Matt, it's been a big week for contracts. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell this morning, but in other spots, Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum has agreed to a 5-year, $314 million extension. That is the largest contract in NBA history. Now, him and Jaylen Brown both on the Celtics, the 2 biggest contracts, Matt. That is an insane amount of money.
That is, and how you navigate that with the salary cap. I mean, the Celtics, while they are for sale, I don't know if you have that story coming up, but like
that's next.
They are for sale. You can't just flippantly go, oh, we'll just give everybody contracts and then somebody else will have to deal with it. That's not what they're trying to do. So there has to be a world that it is open and available that you can have multi-$300 million guys on one contract. That is, salary cap's going up, the new NBA rights deal, all that kind of stuff. But it's just, how crazy is it that it's become standard now of $50, $60 million deals for guys in 1 year? I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I watch. I place my bets. I'm in. Like, it's just crazy to see where we're at. The importance that has been put on quarterbacks in the NFL, players in the NBA. Everybody's just fighting for their piece. But $200-300 million contracts on one team. I never thought we'd be in a world that would be a thing. Fully guaranteed, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Good for them. I'm happy for
For
them.
not even his best player on his team. Anyway, the before-mentioned Boston Celtics, well, Matt, one of the most iconic franchises really in the world of sports, I should say. They're going to be up for sale. Wyc Grousbeck, I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, you know who that is?
Oh, yeah, because everybody just complains that he gets to be the guy that holds the trophies the first. They always give it to the owner. Everybody goes, what did you do? Here's the Larry O'Brien trophy. Yeah. I mean, he's been in the news because it sounds like he's kind of an a-hole.
Okay. I mean, he's from Boston.
Like, there's stories about
when
like
you own the
things that he
Boston
said to
Celtics.
people and, like, he was talking, whatever. But, yes.
Well, they purchased the team in 2002, Matt, for $360 million.
Time to sell.
Tenfold by that.
Time to sell. I mean, that's good business. Sports valuations just keep going up with the more money, more streaming. That's where we're at. So good business people, you buy something, and when it's time to sell, it's time to sell. They win their championship. It'd be like a twofold thing. Where like Grousbeck, he's going to stay with the team till 2028, until the second phase of the sell. So how great would that be? You're telling me I can sell this off now? That's exactly what Mark Cuban did. I mean, even for Mark Cuban sold the Mavericks, but he's in a president role. He gets to do everything that he was doing before, but he just got the money now. You want to cash out. That's what they do. The thing is, the Celtics, again, just won a championship. They've got all these players. That probably is a big factor. Their valuation might not ever be as high as it is right now. And they'll get, the Suns, coming off all that Donald Sterling crap, that was $4 billion.
You mean the Clippers?
Oh, no, that's right. I'm sorry. He was the Clippers. I'm sorry. Not that.
Matashiba?
Matashiba. Yeah, that's right. He bought the Suns. That's right. I'm sorry. You're right. Suns went for 4. Are we talking 5? Can you imagine $5 billion? Buy me a lot of stadiums in this town, man.
Did you see that story about the Bears? They bought it for like $100 and like 19 whatever it was?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's always those stories. Yeah, way back in like Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for like $80 million or something like that. Look at him now. Boston Celtics value. So according to Forbes, the Celtics are worth an estimated value of $4.7 billion, which tells you they will get 5. That's just the sticker price. That'll be more than that. Boston Basketball Partners, LLC. That's the group of guys led by Wyc Grousbeck that run it, right? That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. Yeah. Their sale price $360 million. That represents an increase of 1,205%.
It's a pretty good investment.
Find me that return, right? Find me that mutual fund that I could put some money into on that. Which again, 2002. That doesn't seem all that. I know it's 22 years ago, but to flip it that fast. The thing is, all right. So here's your trivia question. They were ranked 4th as the most valued NBA franchise. What do you think the 3 are ahead of the Boston Celtics? So 4.7 for the Celtics. Here's a little help. All the rest of these teams are either $6 or $7 billion valuation.
Got to be the
So
Lakers.
there's a gap. The Lakers are number 3. They are worth $6.4 billion.
Wow, they're not number 1?
They're not number 1.
Really?
No.
No,
the number 2 team is worth $6.6 billion. The number 1 team is $7.7
Are the Sixers up there?
No.
The Bulls?
No.
Are these California teams?
One is, yeah.
Clippers?
No.
Oh, the Warriors?
The Warriors are number 1 at $7.7 billion. Number 2, East Coast, big markets. East Coast, big market.
I just think of Boston.
No. The other one.
Oh, the Knicks.
The Knicks.
Totally.
The Knicks, $6.6 billion. So again, the Warriors 7.7, Knicks 6.6, Lakers 6.4, and then the Celtics at 4.7. So that's quite a little shot. Dallas, Mark Cuban sold the majority stake of the franchise for $3.5 billion for the Mavericks. That's a great question. If you could own any team, which team would you? Well, I mean, take the Cavs out of it. I think I'd own the Dallas Mavericks. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Like Chicago probably be pretty cool, but yeah, who they get, like who's lining up. I mean, I know it'll be a conglomerate and there'll be a bunch of investors and all that kind of stuff, but you know, and I'm happy that Dan Gilbert's celebrating. How do you not look at that if you're Dan Gilbert? Going, it's maybe not the time to get out, but I don't think he's going anywhere. So get us to the championship, Dan.
Alrighty, well, the Splash Brothers era is officially over as Klay Thompson is leaving Golden State. He's signing a 3-year, $50 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks in hope to win his 5th ring. He also noted, Matt, the tax difference between California and Texas.
Does he really deserve his jersey to retire? They said that in the statement, that his number 11 is never going to be worn again.
Yeah, he does.
I get it. Okay. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easiest place to get
He
in
is
the Hall
one
of
of the best shooters in NBA history. That I kind of understand. Where I get people all riled up and pissed off is here in Cleveland. And I say that nobody gets their jersey retired except LeBron. And he gets a statue and anything else that he wants. Because he is the sole reason, outside of Dan Gilbert's, that you won a championship. Well, you know, they have to stop in the shot. I get all of that. Those guys get to go in the Ring of Honor, the Wall of Fame, and they already got a banner up there with it. Well, you know, they retired Z. They retired Bobby Bingo Smith. I'm not here to bitch about that. Because, if anything, too, hang on, Cavs Pro. I want to make sure I'm right on this. When they retired Z, that was also a shot at LeBron that they did that. But also, Z ranks in the top 10 in several categories of all-time Cavs history, right? Kyrie. Okay, let me do this. Games played. Neither Kyrie nor Kevin Love is in the top 10 all-time for the Cavs. For field goals, Kyrie is 8. Kevin Love is 10. 3-point field goals. I guess Kevin Love is 2nd. Kyrie is 4th. Okay, this really isn't helping my argument here. These guys aren't littered all over the top 10. Okay, I guess they are. I think it's a longevity thing, number one. And I just
You want his resume?
Well, who's that?
Klay?
Bring it up, because you want to know something that's a little shocking to me. Run through it.
4-time NBA champion.
Yes.
5-time All-Star.
That's it, though. Only 5 All-Star teams, which is crazy. That he's got almost as many rings.
Yeah, that is nuts.
As he does All-Star appearances.
2-time All-NBA third team.
Again. Sorry, keep going.
NBA All-Defensive second team. NBA 3-point, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All-Rookie first team, doesn't matter.
That's it. And again, he means a lot to that team and the dynasty that they were on. And you also, like,
3 gold medals.
I'm going to cut it right to the bone here. They won 4 championships. We won 1. All right? I will argue with people, and you can tell me I'm wrong. And the Cavs will probably, didn't they say they were retiring Kevin Love's number? They said that. I wouldn't give it to anybody LeBron. I think that is meant to be an uber special thing.
I wouldn't either, but then you
Bobby
go.
Bingo Smith.
That's what I'm saying, Matt. I agree with your take, and I think I said the same thing. But then I go back and I look who's up there. It's like,
I mean, Nate Thurman was an all-time great, not necessarily with the Cavs, but they gave it to him. Austin Carr is Mr. Cavalier. You give that to him, okay? I get it. You know, for the Browns, you see, oh my God, Otto Graham. Oh my God, Jim Brown. Oh my God, Joe Thomas. But like, oh my God, Don Fleming. You know why Don Fleming got his number retired? Because he passed away. You know, Ernie Davis passed away. Like that. Those are different kind of scenarios. But as far as I guess I put it this way. I think retiring the jersey should be like reserved for the elite of the elite, of somebody that really changed your franchise. I will listen to Klay Thompson with the Warriors, but I can't with Kyrie.
If they do Klay, they got to do Draymond, right?
They'll do those 3. They will do those 3. 100%.
Kevin Durant?
No. Here's the crazy thing. Kevin Durant probably won't get his jersey retired by anybody. The Thunder? Probably not.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's certainly not getting in Brooklyn. Not going to get in Phoenix. There's a longevity thing to it as well. But like LeBron, arguably the greatest player to ever play. That's done. That's done and cooked.
Let me ask you this. Should Damian Lillard get retired in Portland?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he was, in my
There for a
opinion, the
decade.
greatest. Well, I shouldn't say the great. Like I'm shooting from the hip here. He's one of the greatest players in franchise history. Can you say that about? Can you say that about Kyrie?
Yes.
Do you feel like Kyrie Irving is one of the best players to ever play for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I'd say pretty easily.
Do you think Kevin Love is?
Not as high as Kyrie, but
Okay.
yeah.
And I will fully admit, I would rather have Kyrie than Kevin Love. I'm not trying to just sit here and crap on Kevin Love.
Well, for sure.
Like, the best players in Portland history, Clyde Drexler is probably the best player in Portland Trailblazers history. But I would say that, obviously, Dame Lillard is second to him. LaMarcus Aldridge, Jim Paxton, C.J. McCollum. But, like, yeah, I would say that for Dame, he's going to get that. For a franchise that's been kind of lowly, you give that to him. And the Cavs are going through a lowly period, and that's where you got some of these other guys that got it. LeBron, yes. Fine, I guess, on Kyrie. And then you're going to argue and say, well, if you're going to do Kyrie, you might as well do Kevin Love then, too. Right?
That's how it goes.
Is that how you're going to argue it? That's fine. They're going to do
Should we
Clay.
put,
They're going to do
J.R.
Draymond.
Smith up there?
That's exactly my argument. They get their banner. I'm also not sitting here saying that these guys should be outed. That they should be, they don't get to show up for tribute videos. Does JB get a tribute video, by the way, this season, you think? When he comes back with the Pistons?
Yeah, he's
I think
yeah, he will.
I think Donovan walk up, do the Demarius Randall, and hand him something. Well, let's see. I want to argue with it because everybody's got their take on it, and I know deep down the Cavs are going to retire all three. I know that they're going to do that. I just wouldn't do it, but that's just me. Oh, hi. There we go. Do you want to just click over to NBA? I just want to see it real quick. All right. I don't know. What do you think? No?
Up to you. Up to you, Matt. Your call.
Nah, let's go back to football. I mean, do basketball for just a second. You want to see if we
can
can
do women's?
We'd be in a lot of trouble there. Sorry.
You think you could get one?
No.
You don't think so?
What's that logo in the top left? Is that the Lynx?
Minnesota, I think.
Yeah. Mercury, I know.
Fever, obviously, and I think that's Chicago Sky.
No, that's the Golden State. Isn't that Golden State?
No, I think that's Chicago Sky.
Is it? All right. Go back to men's. Sorry. All right, real quick. Only one team, Jazz.
Karl Malone? Did he only play one?
No,
John Stockton.
he went to the Lakers.
John Stockton, I think, one team.
No, I think he also left too.
Okay, then we could just do like
Because I was gonna do like Lakers, Jazz are very easily, Karl Malone. Oh no, you're right. John Stockton.
Should we try it?
No, I know it's John Stockton. I Googled it.
No, I'm saying the grid.
Let's just try it and see how quick it goes. John Stockton, go Karl Malone for Lakers, Jazz. Giannis for the Bucks. Only one team. And Trae Young. You could do Dejounte Murray because he hadn't played yet in New Orleans.
Wait, what?
Dejounte Murray, only one team with the Hawks.
No, he was on the Spurs.
Oh, he was? Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. So now, I'm just saying, we can do football. I'm just saying, I wanted to do that to see if there's anything that we could easily, like, what is is Bobby Portis played his entire career with the Bucks? Why do I remember him in another uniform?
I mean, Bucks, Lakers,
Wizards, Knicks, Bulls for Bobby Portis.
Isn't Bucks, Lakers? They're not Wilt.
Yeah.
Or I mean Kareem.
Kareem.
Hawks, Lakers.
No.
You just gotta think of role players.
Oh, Kyle Korver didn't go for the Lakers. Right? No.
I don't know.
Should
we do football?
Yeah, I want to just do football.
That's what I said.
But now I'm going to sit here and keep thinking about it the whole time.
All right, let's rip this.
All right, let's go. Here, I'll put my timer out. This will be the official one here for us today. All right, here we go, and go.
All right, 10,000 yards passing career. We could do Derek Carr.
Derek Carr's fine. I don't think Trevor Lawrence has that yet.
No.
So
he actually might, but I mean, we could.
Old friend Mark Brunell probably is on that list. Sure, he worked for another team too.
You love Mark Brunell.
I do love Mark Brunell.
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino's fun. All right.
Where do you want to start?
And I'm just trying to, something that is speaking to me opening up here. Something with the Jags and the Cards, but all right, let's run down Cardinals. Colt McCoy doesn't work for any of those other ones, right?
No. Carson Palmer, no.
Carson Palmer. No. Carson Palmer, right where you're at.
Did he play for the Raiders?
Yes, he did. He played for the Raiders. Yes. Carson Palmer works there. He does.
Jags, Cardinals.
There's something, man. I don't know what it is. A guy that's like, damn. A receiver. Not Chosen Anderson. Oh. Do him Miami, Arizona.
Did he play in Miami?
Yeah.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. He was just there this past year. Robbie Chosen. Yep, that's him. There you go. Dude.
Oh, Jags 49ers. We could do Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, do that. That's a good pull. I like that. That's a good pull. Really good pull. Raheem Mostert. Bottom left.
I don't think Kenyon Drake was ever on the Jaguars.
No.
Niners, Raiders, there's got to be something there. It's an in division.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Or no, it's not. No, it's
They're
not.
both in the West, but yeah, AFC versus NFC. Does Brian Hoyer work there?
Did he play for the Niners?
I know he played for the Niners. I think he played for the... Yeah.
Wasn't he yeah.
Yeah, I think Brian Hoyer works there.
I hope.
I think he does. Pressure's off this week anyway. All right.
Cardinals, Jags.
This is what I started with. There's something. I keep going back to a receiver, but I don't think that's right. All right, Calais Campbell, no. Blake Bortles, I don't think so.
No. Josh
Reese
Rosen,
Jones,
no.
Drew. Josh Rosen, no. Wait, no, he never played for Jacksonville.
Patrick Peterson never played for the Jaguars.
Not for the Jags.
I don't think.
Son of a gun.
James Conner, no.
No. Maurice Jones-Drew, no. He went other places, but I don't think he ever went to Arizona.
Christian Kirk.
That's the receiver I was trying. Yes, Christian Kirk. I knew there was a receiver that was just there.
Yeah, he was the most popular.
Number one guy. Yeah. Number one
Nice.
guy. Yeah, Josh Rosen made it in there. See
Yeah.
him? Yeah, look at that. Nice job.
That's why we do football.
That's why we do football. Well done. All right, let's catch our final break of the morning. We come back. Actually, no, we got time. It's only 10:23. I thought it was going to be a little bit later than that. So I want to dive back into the... Actually, do you want to post our 2 for Tuesday? Because it was such a good question that you had yesterday.
We didn't even do a question yesterday either.
We didn't. So you want to do it today? Of which team do you think it's more important to make a trade this summer, the Cavs or the Guardians? You mentioned that yesterday. I thought it was such a good question. I meant to bring it back for 2. You want to do our other 2 for Tuesday as I was going to go fireworks, yeah or nay? I'm an anti-firework guy.
What?
I don't like fireworks.
Nay.
I don't like fireworks. 2 things. Number one.
Hold on, no, because what's the first? Because I want to debate this with you. But what's the first question?
Which team is more important to make a trade this summer, the Guardians or the Cavs? If you can only pick one to make a trade, which one would you pick? The Guardians or the Cavs? And I was in my car driving here getting ready. And I was like thinking, man, what is my answer going to be for this? Because I sit here and I say this. The Guardians are one of the best teams in baseball. I can't say that about the Cavs. But then I come back to the Guardians are more built. The Cavs could be a piece away from becoming that. Then I'm conditioned that they're both going to make a move. Which one do I think it's actually more of an option that they don't? Let me ask you that. Which one do you think is more, again, operating that we think they're both going to make a move, which one do you think is more likely to not make a move?
Ooh.
Again, we assume they're both going to, but if you had to pick one that wouldn't, I would actually say the Cavs.
Well, history would tell me the Guardians.
Right.
But
That's
here's the thing. I don't think either of them have a true shot of contention without making a trade.
Now we start getting into the wishing of which one is going to make a move. Which team is it more important for them to make a move? Oh man,
I feel like I have to be a prisoner of the moment and go Guardians.
I think so too. You know what? I'm going to vote Guardians too. Do you want to know why? You have a look at a championship. You're in this thing. Do you want to know the trade? Here's ESPN. One player, I think this is from David Schoenfield. One player every MLB team should either trade for or away this July. Number one, the White Sox should trade away Garrett Crochet. He's a beast. He's a lefty. Now, the issue is he lists 4 teams that should trade for Garrett Crochet. Guardians aren't on the list. Orioles, Dodgers, Brewers, and Padres. He then brings up Luis Robert Jr., says the Phillies and the Cardinals should trade for him. The Blue Jays should trade away Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette. He said the Astros should go get Vlad Jr. And wouldn't you hate to see Bo Bichette go to the Atlanta Braves? Why do the Atlanta Braves need somebody else?
I would sell my soul for Garrett Crochet.
I would love Garrett Crochet on this team. Here's your move. The Tigers should trade away Jack Flaherty, who we know from the Cardinals of a past. He's on a 1-year, $14 million deal. He's rediscovered his slider, and he's putting together his best season since he finished 4th in the Cy Young voting in 2019. His walkout to strike ratio has improved from 1.5 to all the way up to 8.2 this season. He writes, the Tigers aren't completely dead, but they only have a 4% chance of making the playoffs. And he said they should trade away for him. The list of teams to trade for Jack Flaherty: the Guards, the Twins, and the Diamondbacks. Here's David Schoenfield writing for the Guards. The offense has been way better than expected, although it still relies heavily on strong numbers with runners in scoring position, and the bullpen's been the best in baseball. No first place team, needs a starting pitcher more than Cleveland. Logan Allen and Tristan McKenzie both have ERAs over 5. McKenzie just sent down, and Ben Lively's out-pitching his FIP by more than a run. Flaherty would instantly become the Guardians' #1 starter. He writes about the Twins. They say they're in it with Carlos Correa and Royce Lewis, but they need help with the pitching. And the Diamondbacks rotation looks like it's been a strength, but it's been a disaster with Merrill Kelly on the IL. Jordan Montgomery's been really bad. I'd love that. And by the way, he has Eric Fetty on this list, but the Mets trade for him. Zach Eflin's another guy that's on this list as a pitcher. I would love that. I would love Jack Flaherty here. So that, talking about the Guardians to go get a pitcher or the Cavs making a Garland move, I'm going to go Guardians. I'm with you, victim of the moment. We're in it right now. Go get it done. Now, the essence of our question is more important. The Cavs move is actually more important. The Cavs move, you are reshaping your team. You are going to, if they make a move, you are completely reshaping your team. And that's a bigger one, and I think maybe of a little more importance now with Donovan Mitchell re-signing with the Cavs. So again, we did Guardians for the more important team to make a move this offseason. Right now, Guardians out to an early lead.
All right, what's your beef with fireworks?
I don't like fireworks. Don't do it for me.
What do you mean?
Okay, so
are you scared of them? Are you too attached to your digits?
No. Yeah, somebody out there is enjoying their last couple of days with all 10 of them.
Did you watch Back It Up, Terry?
I have not watched it yet. I'll watch it on Thursday. So, number one, there was an incident when I was a kid, okay? We were lighting them off from my uncle's house. One got stuck in the tube, and
PTSD.
It exploded on the ground. Like, I watched it whiz past my brother. If it had hit him, it killed him. So, that's number one. Number two, now that I have gotten a little older.
Oh, he's going to bring his kids into it again.
And I have
Here we
kids.
go. Oh,
Bro,
my God.
Oh, my God. Okay, seriously.
Take your damn
I don't
dad
care
hat off.
that people blow off fireworks. Do it when you own some land. If you live in West Park like I do, and you can pee onto your neighbor's driveway from your own
You're
bathroom,
being softer than
not
Charmin.
the area
You're
to blow
softer
off
than Charmin.
fireworks.
You're softer than Charmin.
That's not the place to do it. You want to see them, and you got to go to Lakewood. You want to go to Cleveland when they do theirs. That's fine.
No, this is America.
If you live in a residential area and you do not, I have family members that blow off fireworks. Ryan, they have land. They have land to do it. Not in West Park.
You didn't specify how much land.
Again, if you can pee out of your window of your bathroom and it hits your neighbor's property, you should not be able to blow off fireworks. And also, like, I know the Guardians do it, and it could be like, have you not seen every firework there is to be had?
I don't think so. No way.
How many people are going to post videos of their fireworks on social media for other people to see?
4th of July.
I'm as patriotic as you can get. I love it. 4th of July is an amazing holiday. It's great. It's all I'm not anti-firework. I'm anti-firework in residential areas. That's it. That's it. You have some land, you want to go blow them up, fine. I guess I was going to put fireworks, yay or nay. That's going to be our second 2 for Tuesday if you want to post that.
So I have to specify, though, because everybody's going to say yay.
Not necessarily. I mean, you can just put fireworks, yes or no. Do you like fireworks or not? And again, there's like the big, city ones, or I've been to Rock and Blast over there at Progressive Field. That's all fine. But like I would say, once you've seen one firework, you've seen them all.
That's so not true.
Oh, what do you mean? You get the boxes, you get the mortars. I mean, I'd say that's not one of my things. I think as you get older, there's just certain things that people get into, right? They can get into cars, they get into smoking meat, they get into doing fireworks is one thing that that's not really my thing. I don't know. It's not what I do. Like, I'll tell you this, we have no plans of taking our kids to fireworks this year. They're too little anyway, plus it's like bedtime. But yeah, it's going to bother me if they get woken up by some neighbor. Like, okay, a little bottle rocket, that's fine. If you're going to blow off a box or mortars in my neighbor, like, again, it's just go buy some land. Seriously, just go buy some land. So I'm out on fireworks.
What about the people who can't afford land?
Then I'm sorry, you shouldn't be blowing off fireworks. Shouldn't be blowing off fireworks.
You're a hater.
I fully admit that I am. I fully admit. I get it.
Kids changed you.
I wasn't a big fan of them before. I really wasn't. Like,
you're not gonna let your kid blow off a firework?
He can have a little sparkler. He can have something, yeah. Bottle rockets, that's one thing, but it's like when and again, I'm just any potential fireworks sponsor we'll ever get here is just going down the tube on that one. But like, again, these people that go and they spend like so much. Again, you're doing it in the street. In the street. You ever see that video of that family? They're blowing it off. It tips over
in the car.
And it goes underneath the car and it lights all. They could have killed somebody. I will trust the fire people and the fireworks experts on what to do. And I will fully admit, yes, I have a little PTSD from that exploding when I was a kid. So I'm out. I expect that poll to be insane the other way, but we still put it out. I still just want to see where the people are at. All right, let's catch our final break of the morning. Come back. We'll dive in a little bit of time up. We'll get ready to go for the Guardians tonight. I've got my trends for that game. Taking on the White Sox. Wrap things up with the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell. We'll do it all right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
At Collick Companies, we are making a difference in the lives of children and families in our community. For 70 years, Firestone Country Club has been a stage for some of the greatest golfers in history, but it's more than just a tournament, having raised over $30 million for charitable organizations in Northeast Ohio. That's why we're proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Collick Companies Championship at Firestone Country Club. Join us in continuing the legacy of giving back at this incredible event and help us make an even bigger impact in Northeast Ohio.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky
Jeff's on my side. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. 2 for Tuesday. Second one. Do you like fireworks? Jeff, I was until we got a nervous dog. She tries to hide inside the couch when folks light them off, so I don't do it in honor of my... Same thing. Dogs, kids, same thing.
My dog likes fireworks.
Does any dog really like the fireworks? Really? Right now, I'm shocked to say early results, we're at 50-50.
Bunch of boomer old heads.
I see what you did there. Boomer.
Oh, that was unintentional.
Got it. Yeah, got it. And I get it. Like, fireworks is one of those things that as you get older, you like think it's all cool and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. If you have land, that's fine. If you don't, knock it the hell off. Let's get to it, though. A little bit of time up here on the 2nd of July. I had to write in there today. Donovan Mitchell signs a 3-year extension with the Cavs. But we go back to this day, 2009. The Astros and the Padres were delayed almost an hour in the 9th inning after a swarm of bees landed in left field. And they had to evacuate the bees. Didn't that just happen a couple years ago? We had a home plate. There was a bunch of bees at a game or something like that. Right? I want to say it was the Cardinals or something like that. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's one of those things like how you become like a professional beekeeper or like exterminator. You don't think about it until you need them and then you call them.
My dad's an exterminator.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I hope to not need him one day. But
I've gone on many a trip with him, and I don't like bugs and anything, so.
See, the thing about that is you got to deal with all walks of animals. And, like, I don't mind, like, a raccoon or something, but they call me, like, hey, I got a snake problem. I'm like, hey, you better find somebody else, buddy. I'm out. Not doing that. You big Alice in Chains fan? Do you know Alice in Chains?
I do, but I don't really listen to it.
Lane Staley performed for the final time with Alice in Chains this day, 1996. One of the many stories in rock and roll of just, he had a crippling drug addiction, but it's kind of what made him great. This day, 1964, very important. President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act today. This day, 1964. This day, 1962, Sam Walton opened the first Walmart in Rogers, Arkansas.
Yes. I did know that.
Are they still... them and Amazon always go back and forth as, like, the biggest retailers, right?
Gotta be.
Yeah. I can't say I shop at Walmart all that often.
I avoid it when I can.
Yeah. We used to go, like, I think the last time I was at a Walmart was we were driving to my buddy's bachelor party, and I think we were going to, oh, God, what's that place everybody goes? You go canoeing, they have cabins and stuff like that. Hocking Hill. And that was, like, the only thing on the way there.
Yeah.
So, like, you just stop in, you just load the carts up and all that kind of stuff. It's probably the last time I was in a Walmart. This day, 1950, Bob Feller won his 200th game. He beat Detroit 5-3. This day, 1941, Joe DiMaggio breaks Wee Willie Keeler's record for MLB hit streaks in his 46th straight game, recording a hit. That record will never be touched. That record will never be touched. Not in today's day and age. Quan, maybe? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Of course, he would finish with the record of 56. This day, 1937, Amelia Earhart disappeared. Didn't they say they found her? Didn't they say eventually, like, they found, like, the bones and they did studies and they're pretty sure it was her off some island somewhere or something like that?
Who knows?
Not keeping up with it. Yeah, fair enough. Very happy birthday goes out to Ohio State legend Clark Kellogg, Jose Canseco. Why is Alex Morgan not on the U.S. women's soccer team? It's her birthday today.
How old is she?
I don't know. She's got to be, I think she's my age, 34, something like that. 32 maybe? I don't know. She's 35. She's exactly my age. So why was she left off that roster?
Asking the wrong dude.
Dude, everybody's freaking out about the Copa Cup or Camaro, whatever last night. I don't know.
We lost.
I know nothing of anything on that. But Alex Morgan celebrating a birthday today. Richard Petty, the greatest NASCAR driver in history. Larry David, Thurgood Marshall, Lindsay Lohan, Margot Robbie, and Bret Hart. What's your favorite Margot Robbie movie?
Great question.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a great flick.
No.
I haven't seen Barbie
It's a good
yet.
flick. My favorite Margot Robbie movie. Well, I think I've seen every single movie Margot Robbie.
Well,
her poster's on my wall.
It's funny because I
really liked I, Tonya.
Oh, that's a good one.
She's a very good performance.
You know, it's funny because, like, Donovan used The Wolf at Wall Street, and Ben Axel had a good tweet. He goes, that movie's good for two things. One, introducing us to Margot Robbie and starting her superstardom. And number two, using that clip that every athlete uses.
It introduced the casuals to Margot Robbie.
I'm sorry. You were a diehard Margot Robbie fan.
I was.
She tried Harley Quinn. Suicide Squad was trash.
She was the only good part of it.
I know. And actually, I thought she really did a good job as Harley Quinn. I really do.
She was a really good Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn in the Fantabulous Emancipation or whatever, Birds of Prey, not great. And then the other Suicide Squad was a little bit better, but not by much. So let's see. All right, 4 movies for you today. We start a little bit off of the superhero train that we're talking about with Margot Robbie. This day, 2019. This was movie 2 of this current trilogy of this particular superhero.
2019.
Correct.
Ant-Man.
No. Same universe. Same kind of guy. I was really excited because it introduced one of my favorite villains of this superhero. This particular superhero, this introduced, the only time we've seen him. He came in for this movie. You and I have talked about it where my wife is in the theater watching this movie with me and she goes, I thought he was a bad guy. And I go, he is. And then there's a big flip.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Which one?
Far From Home.
That is correct. It's Mysterio, who you think, excuse me, is a good guy. Jake Gyllenhaal, I thought killed him, man. He was so good as Mysterio. But yes, that would be Far From Home. All right, next up. This day, 1997, I would say one of the more popular Alien movies ever made. Spawned several sequels who were not nearly as good as the first one.
Independence Day?
No, good guess, though.
It's not an Alien Predator one, is it?
No. It's about a mysterious group of people who all dress the same that deal with aliens.
Who all dress the same?
Yes.
Like the Coneheads?
No, good pull, though, but no.
The aliens all dress the same?
No, the people that deal with the aliens all dress the same.
Oh, Men in Black.
Men in Black is correct. The Men in Black come to get you. The second one, I haven't seen like the new one either, but the first Men in Black I think holds up. You know the funny thing about that? Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays the Bug, next time you watch it, notice that the face actually deteriorates as the movie is going on. You ever notice that?
No.
So, like, you know how he steals the Edgar suit? Watch the movie, the face starts to decompose as the movie goes on.
It's good attention to detail.
It's a good attention to detail right there on Men in Black. You know that that in part, Will Smith turned down The Matrix.
Yeah.
Because he was like, no, I just did Men in Black, and he turned it down to do Wild Wild West. Bad idea. But he was almost Neo in The Matrix. But we got Keanu Reeves. Yes. It worked out very much so. All right, next up, a film that came up this day, 1991. It's a coming-of-age crime drama. It follows, I'll give you the name, Trey Styles, who is sent to live with his father in South Central L.A., surrounded by the neighborhood's booming gang culture. It is a reference to a rap song from Eazy-E in 1987 that spawned this movie in 1991.
Not a big Eazy-E guy.
Okay.
I don't really know his songs.
Features breakout roles for several prominent actors. 10-year-old Trey Styles living with a single mother in Inglewood. After Trey gets into a fight at school, his teacher informs Reva, although he's intelligent, he lacks maturity and respect. Frightened about his future, she sends him to live in the Crenshaw neighborhood of South Central with his father, hoping that he will learn life lessons. Although strict, he's caring and attentive to his son. He reunites with his childhood friend, Doughboy. Nothing?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Boys in the Hood. Because R.I.P. R.I.P. Not to spoil the movie, but you'll see Ricky.
Heard of it.
Yeah. Well, it was breakout for Ice Cube and Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
As some of their breakout stars. There, what it is. But yes, Boys in the Hood, which I think a lot of people bring up as one of the most sad deaths is when Ricky goes in Boys in the Hood. All right, final one. This day, 1980, a comedy film about a mode of travel.
Trains, planes, and automobiles?
Good guess, but no. I like where your head is at, but you're close.
Snakes on an airplane?
You're close.
Is it someone with a plane?
Plane?
Helicopter?
Yeah, just say it.
Airplane?
Airplane.
No.
Airplane, 1980. Robert Hayes, he's sitting there sweating. Leslie Nielsen, yes. Airplane. This day, 1980, with its worldwide release. There it is. So again, Spider-Man Far From Home, Men in Black, Boys in the Hood, and Airplane, all this day in history. All right, flip over to the Guards. Let's get in action tonight. They're taking on the White Sox. Cookie Carrasco on the hill. Let me see what we got here. So first off, Guardians, giant, massive favorites in this game. It's insane to see how big they are. On the season, Cleveland averaging 5 runs per game. Chicago just 3. So the over-under is 9. So I would dare say I kind of like the under in this one, especially with so for the White Sox, Chris Flexen has got the start. He's 2-7 with a 5.1 ERA. In his last 4 starts, his last 3 starts, he has given up 9 runs in 2 losses and a no decision. Carrasco, his last 3 starts, he's given up 2, 1, and 5. So he's trending in the right direction with a win-loss and a no decision in his 5 starts with this one. Trends for this. Let's dive into it quickly here. The under is hit White Sox 10 out of their last 13 games. White Sox are just 4-8 straight up in their last 12, but they are 6-3 straight up in their last 9 against Cleveland. The White Sox are on an abysmal 3-13 slide on the road their last 16 games. Cleveland, we know, struggling 1-4 straight up in their last 5, but they're on a 5-game win streak at home. The under 13 out of their last 18 games against the White Sox, and 11 out of their last 15 games at home against the White Sox. The under is hit. So every little thing is telling me the under. Now, what you don't like about this is probably what? You got 2 guys with 5 ERAs pitching in this game. I'm going to take the Guardians minus the 1.5. And I kind of like the under on that one. For again, if I can get it at 9.5, I think probably my favorite thing is the under, but I will take out. I'll take Guardians minus a 1.5 as well. Here's what I'm looking up real quick, too. teams that strike out the most. The White Sox are 10th in baseball in strikeouts. Because I was going to say, maybe we do a little 4.5 there over for Cookie Carrasco. What do you think? That's tough because he's not necessarily a strikeout kind of guy. And they're decently bad. Yeah. So I'm going to take a -1.5. I think my favorite bet for tonight is probably the under. What about you?
Can I get a John Kenzie Noel dinger?
You can, if you want. If you'd like it. Sure. We can do whatever you'd like. If he's in the lineup today, I'm assuming that he will be.
Yeah.
Home runs projected here. Sorry, I'm scrolling down. According to this, the guy with the best chance to hit a home run, they give Schneemann a pretty decent chance today. Fry, Schneemann, and Kwan all have about the same odds. Josh Naylor is the best. Jose. Yeah, it goes Jose, then Naylor, then Schneemann, then David Fry for today. All right, so there you go. Get your parlays in and get it done. All right, great day for the Cavs today with the re-signing of Donovan Mitchell. Now I am turning my attention to what's next. I don't think this is it for the Cavs. I think there's other moves. And do we just start sitting here wondering if it's going to be Darius Garland? Is it Jared Allen? Like, I would say now that this is all done, the coach is here, Mitchell is here, you can have these meaningful conversations. You put all your strength, you put all your effort now into what moves are we going to make this team. Because I will sit here, and I'm just going to keep saying this. I don't think this team is good enough. I don't think this team is good enough to go where you need to go. If you want to trade away Darius Garland, you want to trade Jared Allen, those are the two obvious ones. Don't forget about a Karis LeVert could be sprinkled in. I don't want to see. This team is not good enough. They got to make a move. And I'm going to put that onus on Kobe Altman to understand that. Now that you have Donovan Mitchell under contract, the pressure is off there. You can sit down with Donovan and ask him. Again, from what Woj said, this is a partnership between these two, between Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs to do the right thing, to steward this team into the future, and hopefully getting back to the NBA Finals. Make that move. Get it done. I don't want to just run it back.
You want to listen to a Donovan Mitchell clip?
Yeah. Oh, is this one from his Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's go. This is Donovan Mitchell from his Instagram riding in his car.
All year I've been saying the same shit. Like, saying how much I like it. And every day it's like, oh, he gonna do this, he gonna do that. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it's hilarious. It is what it is. But I'm glad I got this shit done, man. Glad I got this shit done, Cleveland. Whew. Now you can focus, you know what I'm saying?
Now I can focus.
Now I can buy this big part, yeah. And that's got to weigh on you. You know, $150 million sitting in front of you. What do you want to do? Your agent's telling you. I'm not saying that he and his agent weren't on the same page, but like that's a tough decision. Because these kind of moves are borderline career definers, right? If Donovan Mitchell wanted to leave, Cavs go have a bunch of success, he'll regret that, all that kind of stuff. The ultimate question coming out of this, too, do you think Donovan Mitchell is now ascended into a top 5 favorite Cavalier of all time?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think he was close to being there. We love him.
Yeah, I suppose that's different from talent. You're right.
Like, you know, talent versus beloved.
Yeah, you're right. That's
I don't think he's been here long enough to have that conversation of the most talented, right? But now that he will be here, he'll enter that conversation. And now that he has re-signed, is he one of the most beloved Cavaliers now of all time? He chose Cleveland.
Got to be.
Because here's the thing. When he was traded here, that wasn't his choice. He has now chosen to stay with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That means something to this town. That means something to these fans, to the people out there that buy his jerseys. He wants to be here. He wants to see this thing get built up. We all want to go back to a championship. We get it. He chose the Cavs. He chose the Cavs. I want to stay here. I think this is the place that I can do it. And you're off to a damn good start. You're off to an amazing start to this partnership between Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. On where they go from here, that path is a little unwritten, but as long as you have him with Evan Mobley, you fill out the rest of the roster, you're going to be a playoff contending team. What you do when the playoffs start, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. What trades now are lined up, and it goes back to our question we asked a little bit earlier. Is the pressure more on Kobe Altman or less on Kobe Altman now that Donovan Mitchell has signed his extension? Do you feel like it's more now pushing Kobe Altman to go do something because that's what they need to do or because that's what Donovan is expecting them to do? Or is the pressure off because we got Donovan Mitchell? We're all good.
Yeah.
You know, is he a big eraser? And what I'm talking about is, does he overcome mistakes where maybe you don't make the exact trade? Maybe you don't make the perfect trade for this team. But Donovan Mitchell is so good, he can fill those gaps in, right? Where you didn't quite get the return, but this guy fits a little bit better, and Donovan is just here just to flatten it all out. Just to make it all even. You get the guys here, I'll lead them, and we'll get to a championship. That's what we all hope for, man. That's what we all hope for. I hope for the college championships because we're going to be there, folks. Super excited about that. Again, I laid out the schedule. So it's next week already, which is crazy.
It is nuts.
July 10th through the 14th, down there at Firestone, Colleague Companies Championship, July 10th through the 14th. Tickets start at just $25. That includes access to the Colleague Infinity Zone, an interactive area featuring live music on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stage and including a partnership with Folds of Honor for a military appreciation concert on Friday. Food trucks, activations from LA Golf, X Golf, Horse Soldier Bourbon, and we will be there as well. Thursday, Big Play Cleveland show, Drennan, Hanford Dixon. Friday, us, Chico, Josh and Maria Cribbs, Blake and Greg Williams, all there on Friday. So get your tickets now. ColleagueChampionship.com. That is ColleagueChampionship.com. Get your tickets, start at $25, and we will see you at the tournament next week. We also, I think we have some giveaways coming up, too. That we'll have an opportunity for people to win tickets and come down and see us at the College Championship next week. Well, speaking of Josh and Maria Cribbs, they'll be on tonight with the return, as will be Enter the Jungle, James Rapine, and crew. What a great day, man. What a great day for the Cavs. Get Donovan Mitchell signed up. I'm sure we'll continue that reaction tomorrow. We'll talk to you at 9 a.m. Fontana Show. Drop us a follow. Twitter X, at Matt Fontana Show. YouTube channel. Subscribe there. You can follow us on Twitch. And we're also up on Instagram. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.